Hello, this is Warlord, and what we're going to do right now is take a look at what exactly iClone is. Now, this segment is not for people that use iClone right now, so much as it's geared to new users or people that are thinking about using it, or you're just on the fence. You're not sure if you want to be an animator or not. Well, iClone is an animation tool. It can turn you into an animator, even if you've never animated anything in your life. Can it make you a great animator? Well, that's like any piece of software, that's up to you. Depends on how much you learn it, how much time you put into it. But out of the box, iClone is a simple to use drag and drop animation tool if you want it to be, in that you can drag and drop characters into a scene. You can drag motions onto a character. You can right click on characters and choose a motion. There's motion puppet that goes in and masks certain motions where you can preserve the legs, the positions of a character in one scene to another while adding motion to it. There's also direct puppet, which allows you to directly manipulate any part of a skeleton. Now, you can also do this with props too and things. There's several ways that you can animate an iClone. Again, it's not going to make you a great animator in that there's no easy button, but you can just as simply, if all you want to do is add a wave file and for dialogue and set up a simple scene or just a person, one simple character with simple lighting, that can be done in a matter of minutes. That's not something that can necessarily be done in the higher end animation tools. And one thing I'd like for you to keep in mind, I read a lot about where people are comparing iClone to Maya and Studio Max, Autodesk products, things like that, and ZBrush. Well, they don't compare. They don't compare for many reasons. iClone is a powerful tool, but it's not a modeling tool. You're not going to go in and create complex characters or props in iClone. That is more the domain of Studio Max, ZBrush, things like that. But iClone is a filmmaking tool, and it is a much simpler to use filmmaking tool than those. I use Studio Max and ZBrush pretty much on a daily basis. I do grunt work on freelance. I don't do anything glamorous, but I do a lot of 3D work. And when I have to turn to something quickly, like pre-visualization or something like that, then iClone is always going to be the first thing I turn to. Also, if it's something that just needs to be done simple, or a proof of concept, or a proof that something can work, a shot list, or anything like that, iClone can turn that out very, very quickly. There's lots of things iClone can do. There's also lots of things iClone can't do. It can't produce an entire movie. You're going to have a non-linear editor, something like Vegas, Premiere. There's several different flavors of editors out there that you can use. Pinnacle, things like that. But you do have to put clips together to make a movie. And in iClone, you can make those clips. You can string dialogue together. You can have a friend record dialogue with you, and then you can place those files onto each character, and it will lip sync it for you. You can go in and improve the lip sync if you want to by going in and changing things. But one thing that iClone can do for everybody, even if you've never animated anything, is give you your very first animation and give you a taste of it, and it does not cost you thousands of dollars like an Autodesk product. So if you're going to continue to read about iClone, keep in mind that if someone mentions Studio Max or Maya, you're talking about something that costs thousands of dollars, not something that costs hundreds of dollars. And what iClone can do is extremely powerful. The more you delve into it, the more you're going to find this out. iClone will give you the ability to go in and use your own content others have made, content Reallusion provides. And what do we mean when we say content? We're talking about scenes, buildings, cities, people, just about anything it takes to make a movie. There's a large, large library of content available, and it's available in various price forms, and it's available in various degrees of quality. If you don't have a big budget, then you can go out there and pretty much put together a whole scene without a big budget. If you want something that looks a little better, works a little better, there are developers out there that sell iClone-related products through the marketplace and through Reallusion itself that will work great and enhance the visual product that you have. Now, iClone, this is something I get asked, can it produce Pixar quality animations? Well, really only Pixar produces Pixar quality animations. So that's kind of a loaded question. iClone's real-time render is not Pixar quality. I don't know of a real-time render that basically is right now that can give you the tools and the ease of use that iClone does. Now, there is the new Indigo renderer, but it's not real-time. It can take hours, days, or weeks to render things. But it can give you a much better render, and it leans towards that Pixar type render. But remember one thing, when you talk about Pixar, you're talking about lots of animators, teams of animators, things that are rendered out on render farms, which are huge server farms with lots of times thousands of servers, rendering just a few frames a day sometimes. So when you say, are you going to get Pixar quality? Well, if you're a Pixar animator and you have the time, then yeah, you can probably put out a few seconds of Pixar quality, but that's going to be a long ways down the road. And this is something I would have said wasn't even possible before version 6 and the Indigo render plugin. But again, you got to remember what you're asking for. If you're just here to learn animation and you want to just see if you can do it, you want to show it off to your family, maybe even you think that you can become a little more valuable at work by doing things with animation, well, this is a place to start. This is a place you can come without breaking the bank and see if it's actually viable. Because what Reallusion has done is tried to make it as simple as possible to animate. Then other developers like myself, we provide props that with the right click can do all kinds of things. Explode, move, whatever. You don't have to do anything but right click and hit a perform action. That's not with every prop, but there's lots of props out there like that. So if you really want to try animation, iClone's the way to start. Again, it doesn't have an easy button. It's not going to make you a genius. But I think you're going to be very surprised with your very first attempt at animating, particularly if you're just drag and dropping canned motions. Now, for some reason, a lot of people like to do, I guess you'd say musicals, music videos, things like that, because iClone just lends itself to that very easily. Well, if nothing else, grab a piece of music, grab a couple of characters, throw some motions on there, and you'll see very quickly that it doesn't take long at all. In just a matter of minutes, you've put something together. But iClone is also so much deeper than that. It can be used to pre-visualize an entire movie, and it has been done many times like this. I use iClone for storyboards that are not only static, but animated. Now, I can't really show you how that's used because nobody wants a pre-visualized version of their movie out. So we're not allowed to show those things, but it is done and it is used along with software that can sometimes take a lot longer to do the same thing. And if you're on a budget like we are, if that clock is burning money, then a real-time render like iClone is certainly the answer for you. But if you absolutely do not know if you want to animate or not, then I would suggest you give it a try, because I don't know really of any other package that is so easy to use, yet later on down the road give you pretty much the level of control that you want or need to do a whole lot more with the character, particularly if you decide that animating is something that you want to do.